Patrick for our invocation.
Thanks for today. Thank you for the opportunity to be at this Board of Supervisors meeting. We ask that you give each director the wisdom they need to make good decisions, to consider everyone's comments. And I ask you to consider the public's comments as well. And I just thank you for this time. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. All right, and then we are going to pull a few items from consent agenda. We are going to pull items 321 and 344. 344 is going to get tabled for a later time, and 321 will be under regular presentations. Do I have a, sorry, Mary, is there anything you want to read, or are we good to go to the consent agenda? And we're good? All right.
Through the chair, I just have to let you know I'm going to second this motion, but I need to abstain from item 305 and 320 because I am employed by Yuba County Office of Education as a welding teacher.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with the 2 abstentions noted. And then
Chair, I'm very sorry, but I did not take the first or the second motion.
it was Andy for the first. It was Rennick for the second, along with his 2 abstentions. We will now move to special presentations.
So the first presentation we have is a received presentation from California State Association of Counties recognizing 2025-26 Yuba-Sutter CSAC Institute Executive Credentialed Graduates.
Chair, for supervisors, thank you for allowing me to be here today to be able to recognize and honor your executive leaders within the county. I want to thank you also for your vision in bringing a CSAC Institute campus to Yuba County, in addition to CAO Mullen and Assistant CEO Powers. We recognize that the Institute has a number of benefits to it, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. But the greatest benefit that we recognize is the pipelines that it creates in your senior leadership, of being able to recognize that what counties do really well is to be able to support folks along their professional journeys and being able to see that transition from management to leadership as part of that experience. The CSAC Institute is happy to be able to support your county in order for that transition to be able to take place maybe more smoothly through the development of leadership skills as we recognize it through public service leadership and governance. I noted that I come in celebration. There's this great quote by DeWitt Jones. Was a photographer for the National Geographic. And he said, we must celebrate what's right with the world in order to have the energy to fix what's wrong. And I find that to be a mantra that we carry forward on recognizing that times we just have to pause to be able to recognize the great things that are happening among our larger communities. Graduating from the CSAC Institute is no easy task. Since 2008, when this Institute was created, it was recognized that when counties develop their teams, there's often a gap between the management leadership side of the house. Bill Sheehan, who was the CAO of Napa County at the time, said, hey, CSAC, is there a way to be able to help support us on the county space to be able to help with those transitions? And since that time, we've had over 2,000 graduates earn an executive credential from our team. We recognize that the type of training that we offer is not just a one and done. It's really the getting into this lifelong learning mindset. And it requires 50 hours of instruction over 10 courses. And we're really excited for those types of conversations to be able to take place. What's unique with this campus is a recognition that you did with your neighbor with Sutter County. And we're recognizing that those types of partnerships have greater importance to be able to have a regional type conversation so we can learn from our neighbors as well as we're growing into these roles. And with that, I'm happy to pause and answer questions that you might have before we recognize the 21 graduates who are with us today. Great.
Proceed.
Yeah. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Supervisor House and Supervisor Bradford as the CSAC representatives and Mr. Powers to join us. Mr. Powers was one of the early graduates of the CSAC Institute way back in 2010. So it's great to be able to welcome both on the staff side of the House, on the executive side of the House, and also as a graduate of the program. And I'd like to invite Brittany Barron, who's on the CSAC Institute team, to call up our graduates. Then we'll have a receiving line. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Let me adjust this. All right. Okay. First up, we have Sarah Baggett from the Office of Emergency Services. Next is Emily Bacon from the County Administrator's Office. Next, we have Jamie Bartolome from Health and Human Services. Next, we have Stephanie Beal from Probation. Amber Derrick from Human Resources. Rich Eberly from Auditor Controllers. Jessica Garcia from Health and Human Services. Daisy Hendrickson from Clark Recorder and Elections. Miranda Johnson from Auditor Controllers. Nick Moravchinsky from the Sheriff's Office. Evan Perkins from County Development.
Thank you.
Jenna Shin from the County Administrator's Office.
Yes, thank you.
Erica Stedman from the County Council. Jeremy Strang from Community Development. Erica Summers from First Five. And Kylie Torcola from Community Development. These are our Yuba County graduates. Congratulations, everybody.
And Supervisors, if you'd like to join us for a group photo.
Yeah. I could have you, Sean's about that why it doesn't time goes. Yeah. You want us to pop down? I need, yeah, I need. Pop down. There we go. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Great job.
It's all great.
They give you a symbol.
All right, our next presentation is going to be Meals on Wheels. Do we have a representative?
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Ashley Williams, and I'm the Nutrition Services Coordinator for Yuba-Sutter Meals on Wheels and Dine Around Town programs. And so I'm just here to provide you with an update, let you know what we've been up to this fiscal year and our goals and plans going forward. So just a little background. So Meals on Wheels, Yuba-Sutter and Dine Around Town programs are funded and managed by the Agency on Aging Area 4. The AAA 4 is one of 33 area agencies in California designated by the state to develop, coordinate, and fund programs designed to help older adults and people with disabilities to maintain their health and independence. We do operate as a nonprofit joint powers authority with the counties, with 7 counties, including Yuba and Sutter. And so we fund and monitor programs provided by community-based organizations with funding under the Older Americans Act. And then we also provide direct services, utilizing grants and collaborating with other organizations. So some of the services that we provide, of course, are the home delivered meals. Established by federal and state regulations. We also provide wellness and safety checks as nutrition support and referral to other community resources. The eligibility criteria for our program is for older adults ages 60 and up, a spouse of a participant of any age, or a person with a disability living in the same home as a program participant. And right now we cover in Yuba County, we cover Marysville, Linda, Olivers, Wheatland, Plumas Lake, and some of the surrounding rural communities. So our first step is a participant screening tool, and we utilize this to determine the nutrition risk, their homebound status, our ADL score, which is activities of daily living, as well as their living arrangement. And then we also now screen for malnutrition as well, food access and meal prep ability, and then exceptional high-risk conditions. So right now we are prioritizing our priority ones, of course. These are high-risk individuals that demonstrate significant safety and health or functional risk and need urgent intervention. Priority 2 is our moderate risk, and which individuals present notable concerns that may impact health or independence, and they do need timely service as well. Priority 3 is our minimal risk, which individuals may have limited risk factors, services are appropriate but not urgent. And then our low risk, which minimal to no identifiable risk factors. And so right now we have 63 older adults on our waiting list, with 37% being priority 2 and 43% being priority 3 or 4. So for our Dine Around Town program, the parity funding allocation for Yuba County for this fiscal year was approximately $7,000, which supports service for only 2 Yuba County participants. So for next fiscal year, we are requesting that the board support us in reallocating these funds towards our home delivered meal program. Redirecting these limited resources would allow funding to better address the growing demand for home delivered meal service and vulnerable adults currently in need. And should additional funding become available in the future, the AAA4 would readily reinstate and support the Dine Around Town program for Yuba County participants.
Can you explain a little bit more about what the Dine Around Town was exactly?
Yes. Okay. So yeah, our Dine Around Town program, so that is our non-traditional congregate meal program. So we have restaurants that we partner with, and program participants can receive 10 free meals per month on that program. And so it's really an emphasis on socialization, getting people out of their homes, getting them to go with friends, connect, that kind of thing. So that's what our program is. We had a total of 3 restaurants. We had one in Marysville, and then the other 2 were in Yuba City.
Okay, and so for those 2 participants, that would be 240 meals then that they received through this program.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And so, yeah, if we do receive additional funding, we would love to reinstate the program. But we'll also refer people to Seniors on the Go. That's another socialization restaurant
Well,
program.
and that's exactly actually where I was going to go with this. So let's talk about that if we can. Instead of doing the dine around town, if we were to allocate money so that there's 3 seniors on the goes currently going on, one in the foothills, one in Marysville, one in Olivehurst, and they were instead brought there, the meals are free. So the only cost is the transportation of, I assume somebody from your organization would be bringing them to the location for the meal. Is that how the dine around town worked, or you just gave them gift cards, or how did that work?
I know for a Dine Around Town program, they're responsible for their own transportation there. In the past, we did use physical vouchers, but now everything is tracked electronically. And so that's how we keep track of meal usage and things.
Okay, so going back to your your 4 categories of people, obviously the level 1 category where they're homebound, risk of falling, stuff like that, probably can't be bringing them out into a non-safe environment. But for the other categories, would you guys provide transportation for them, or no, not really your thing?
We don't offer any transportation services.
Great.
Yeah, but yeah, to answer or to go further with your question, Meals on Wheels, that's for those that are homebound, limited mobility, or difficulty leaving the house without assistance. And then Dine Around Town is an option for those that are a little more mobile, independent, able to leave and go out when they want to.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then some highlights for this fiscal year. It's our program structure. We have adjusted back to our baseline Older Americans Act program funding while continuing to prioritize services for individuals at highest nutritional risk. And so we've implemented tools like our screening and prioritization criteria to help identify people on the wait list with highest need. We've improved our operations with better participant tracking and reporting. And then as for our community impact, we have reduced food insecurity among vulnerable older adults with daily wellness checks from our volunteer drivers and helping to identify emergency and health concerns and support to keep people aging in place in their homes. Some of our partnerships are, we partnered with Sutter Health Collaboration Grant with Meals on Wheels YOLO to offer medically tailored meals. And so this is our frozen meal program. And so we offer diabetic, renal, vegetarian, and heart healthy meal options. And so we served 133 participants, 104 of whom were high nutritional risk, and 64 required assistance with activities of daily living. And so some of the challenges that we face is, of course, increasing demand, rising number of older adults requesting home delivered meal service, a lot of pressure with our wait list, and ultimately limited funding capacity. So our funding limitations, nutrition funding is stretched across growing service needs, and then also some challenges with delivering to rural areas.
And so in response to this slide, what is the cost to add an adult to your services? Is it $10,000 a year, $5,000 a year? What's the cost?
So I don't have that number. That would be a question for our program manager.
Okay. Do you know your approximate budget?
No, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no problem. All right,
No.
thanks.
I know our cost per meal, but not our total budget.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I think that's.
How much is your cost per meal?
So I believe it's about, I think it's like $9.50.
Okay, so $10 a meal, and you provide 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day for them?
So we provide a total of 5 meals per week.
5 meals per
and
week.
so it comes out to 1 meal a day.
Great.
Typically like a lunch or dinner entree.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. And then for the program updates, we had our invitation for bid for a meal vendor. So this fiscal year, we had two meal vendors. We had 2 Bits Express in Marysville and Drewski's out of Sacramento. And so going forward, we will proceed with just 2 Bits. We're serving a preference for local Yuba-Sutter food vendors. And then our new goal is 25% of locally sourced food products. They focus on meal quality and nutrition, variety and participant satisfaction, and then fresh, locally sourced ingredients. And then our goal is sustainable community-based nutrition services. And then some of our goals for this coming fiscal year is to reduce or eliminate our wait list. This is really huge. We're trying to increase capacity for home delivered meals, as well as seek additional funding through community fundraising and partnerships. We want to strengthen our nutrition services by maintaining meal quality and participant satisfaction. We want to also strengthen our referral network as well, and then continue wellness and safety monitoring and follow-ups, malnutrition screening for our baseline data, and increase nutrition education and outreach. And then our next goal is to expand community partnerships. We want to increase local business and donor engagement and strengthen coordination with healthcare and community agencies, pursue grants and collaborative opportunities. And then we want to improve our data and reporting by better tracking outcomes and participant needs. And so here are some quotes from some of our participants. So one says, I'm an elderly lady of 72 years old with extreme mobility issues. I'm looking at 2 hip replacements, 2 knee replacements starting in the near future because of mobility issues. I cannot walk or stand longer than 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Therefore, the meals I receive are my main meal a day and very helpful to me financially. I so appreciate your help. And so these are some testaments to the impact of our program and things that myself and our other nutrition services coordinator hear on a daily basis of just how helpful and impactful these meals have been for people. So that is all. Do you anyone have any other questions?
I asked lots of questions, so somebody else can if they'd like to. So I did some quick math. It sounds like you guys want another 130,000. You guys' program is probably around 150 currently. Do you know where that 150 comes from currently? Is it the Agency from Aging is an allocation from the state, or?
Yeah, so the bulk of our funding is from OAA. And then we have a couple other grants and things, but yeah, but bulk of it's coming from the state, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And through the chair, just a couple of things. Congratulations on getting Yuba County residents served. That's super important, and you're doing the job, which is really good. We had an issue in the past where some folks weren't served and there wasn't good, clear communication, and I think all that's been resolved. So we greatly appreciate what you guys do. Question is, how often do you review what vendors you use for the meals? Because I know recently it was awarded to Just 2 Bits, which is great for our local business.
Oh, yeah. I think we do it every 2 years with that process. Yeah, so they're contracted for 2 years for that.
Okay, well, thank you very much again.
Thank you. It's an excellent presentation.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Mary, if you'd like to read public comment.
Yes, any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we have no cards and we have no hands on Zoom.
All right, just to double check. Tony, are you feeling okay? All right. Good. We will go to county departments then, and we will start with the clerk, recorder, registrar.
Okay, are we starting with agenda item?
You need to let her do
319
319, and then I'm going to go ahead and let her follow with 321 so she doesn't have to sit down, if that's okay.
Okay, so agenda item 319, 2026, clerk, recorder, register of voters, approved budget adjustment request in the amount of $27,198, decreasing allocation to account maintenance and equipment, and increasing account to capital assets.
Okay. Good morning to the chair and members of the board. Tina Belding, Elections Manager. I'm here today to ask the board to approve a budget adjustment. The funds of purchase were already approved by the board in the 25-26 fiscal year budget and is under the terms of the voter system replacement contract with the Secretary of State and due to expire August 31st of this year. Recent legislation requires local county elections officials to finish counting all standard ballots and release those counts by an earlier date following the election. The legislation increases the volume of work to complete while reducing the timeline to complete that work. In addition, with the continuing trend of voters returning their ballots close to Election Day or before, we feel it is an additional purchase of a tabulator that would be the best purchase for the remaining grant funds. We are asking the board's approval for the transfer of funds from maintenance and equipment to capital assets in the amount of $27,198. Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. Is there any public comment? And it doesn't seem that there's a roll call vote here, so we'll just do a regular. It is a roll call vote. Okay. Proceed.
Hey, Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Pure,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, and then we'll address 321 if you would.
I'm here to discuss certification of results in accordance with Election Code Section 15372, a certification copy of the statement of vote for the June 2nd, 2026 Congressional District 1 special primary election was submitted to your board on June 11th. In Yuba County, the number of eligible voters was 37,937. The total votes cast was 12,239. On the Yuba County votes cast, James Gallagher won, receiving 59%. District-wide, he received 62.1% of the votes. He received more than 50% of the votes district-wide, and so there will be no special general election. Once we receive the June 2nd statewide direct primary election, Donna will be back to do a complete report with the board. Today, I'm here to ask the board to accept the statement of vote following our office's conduct of the special election, ballots counted, audited, and certification. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we have some comment on this subject.
Yes, we do. First person we have is Tina Hassan.
Hi, my name is Tina Hassan, and I am authorized by Ruth Armstrong to appear on her behalf. Ruth Armstrong is a lawful electorate in Yuba County and wishes to assert her rights under California Elections Code 16100D F and G. Ruth served you with this letter yesterday. Dear Supervisors, Registrar, and Sheriff, the purpose of this notice is to ask for the opportunity to address the entire board and/or to present a claim contesting the certification of any election results at the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Supervisors. I am also requesting the board direct the Register of Voters to respond to the request of information below. I invite you to your attention to California Election Code Section 16100, which states in Part D, any elector of the county, city, or of any political subdivision of either may contest any election held therefore, and any of the following causes. D, illegal votes were cast. The factual basis of my request is that it is common knowledge that there has been a flood of illegal aliens into the state of California, its counties, its cities, and school districts. Those non-citizens have apparently been allowed to register with the Department of Motor Vehicles. With that registration, these non-citizens have been provided with voter registration and election ballots. It is also common knowledge that investigative reporters have discovered that some illegal alien non-citizens have in fact voted. Providing these non-citizen voter registration and electronic election ballots give you, the members of the Board of Supervisors, and you, the Register of Voters, the legal basis to set aside the election and deny the certification due to the number of illegal voters as set forth in the California Election Code 16100, specifically subsection D. These incontrovertible facts give you, Sheriff, not only the right, but the obligation to investigate voter fraud. If the board and registrar certify the election, they will be committing a felony. 1.0, the board and the registrar. Would you please provide me and the person who served this letter on you the process and identify all of the officers, employees, and volunteers engaged in the collection and counting of ballots, including disqualification of ballots and voter verification. As a voter in this state, as is the server of this letter named below, we object to our votes being diluted by the votes of these not legal eligible to vote. We also object to any compounding of a felony by certifying the election results. Thank you for your prompt responding to this letter and giving me an audience with you to constitutionally redress this grievance pursuant to the Bill of Rights, Article 1. Yours truly, Paul Preston and Ruth Armstrong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There was another comment?
Yes, next person we have is Martha Sheeler.
Thank you. Thank you for serving. I'm addressing County Council. This is in reference to California Elections Code 16100 D, F, and G. Any elector of a county, as Tina said, has the right to contest false votes that have been cast. My name's Martha Sheeler. I am authorized by Ruth Armstrong to appear on her behalf. Ruth is a lawful electorate in Yuba County and wishes to assert her rights under California Elections Code 16100 D, F, and G. Tina spoke about, okay, now something happened to my phone. Tina spoke about D, but I'm going to speak about F and G. F says that the precinct board in conducting the election or in canvassing the returns made errors sufficient to change the result of the election as to any person who has been declared elected. G, that there was an error in the vote counting programs or summation of ballot counts. The California Department of Motor Vehicles is essentially granting citizenship without federal authority in acts of malignant neglect. Every time a DMV application results in a non-citizen voting in this county, it is a deprivation of Ruth Armstrong's civil rights. Deprivation of rights. Look it up. When you vote to accept this certification in your official capacity as a member of the governing board of Yuba County, you are stating that you accept the assertion by your clerk, registrar of voters, that every vote that was counted was cast by a legal voter. They weren't. This would be a false assertion based on the facts in the letter you were served yesterday. How can you vote to accept that certification? You need to ask yourself this question. Can you in good conscience violate the civil rights of every voter in Yuba County by accepting a certification that is on its face fraudulent? I'd like to read you a sentence out of Federalist 3. The pride of states, as well as of men, naturally disposes them to justify all their actions and opposes their acknowledging, correcting, or repairing their errors and offenses. Do not be prideful. Follow the law. My vote matters to me as much as your constituents.
Thank you, ma'am. Was there any other comment? All right. Did you have any overarching explanations? There is an argument that is being made that the way that we do voting in California is that the DMV issues things in a blanket mass, and they aren't always great with their procedures and protocols.
I would say that the state is not Yuba County. I can only speak to Yuba County. As far as DMV and the Secretary of State goes, that is an agreement between them through the motor voter program. And responsibilities are outlined in election 2263. We do comply and perform all of our voter maintenance activities in compliance with existing law. I have every bit of confidence that Yuba County's voter rolls are clean and that our election results are good.
Okay. If I can just rewind to a moment before you said, I think you said we had like a 60% vote for Gallagher in our county. Is that, what was the number?
It's 59.65.
Perfect. We're rounded to 60 and you said something like 3,000-ish votes were made
No, in our county,
in our county.
there was 12,239.
So that would mean that there would have to be, if there was 12,000 votes, more than 1,200 illegitimate votes for it to change the election. Is that correct? Okay. And that seems unlikely.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I will now entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve. I'll second, but I wanted to add a comment. So our elections here are open to the public for observation. I went 4 years ago when I was running and was literally the only person from the public observing. I don't know how many people came this year, but every year you guys can come and watch, and it's a very thorough process. So.
Through the chair, also another comment. I definitely respect the fact that there are people out there asking the questions and pushing information forward. Just something in the future, if we ever do have any type of proof or any actual measurable data that shows that there are inconsistencies or any faults in our Yuba County process, we'd love to see it. So you guys can reach out to me anytime, but I also support this, approving this election result, and I have faith in Yuba County's electorate office or election office.
All right, roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor House,
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. We will move to item 230 or 330. I can't read.
Agenda item 330-2026, Administrative Services, approved budget adjustment request in the amount of $40,000 from account construction in progress to account minor equipment, small tools.
Good morning, Chair and board members. I'm Jolene Harper with Administrative Services. Today, I'm asking for a budget transfer to be approved for our medical mental health facility in the amount of $40,000, moving $40,000 from construction in progress to minor tools. The reason for this is because during the end of the project, we found that there's just some items that don't need to be capitalized or in construction, and that should have just been in minor equipment, just expensed out for the year. And those included like vacuums, delivery carts, PCs, waste baskets. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer your questions for you.
Any public comment?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr,
Yes.
Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion
you.
passes. Thank you.
333.
So this agenda item is from Clerk of the Board. It's adopt resolution amending resolution number 2025-089, repealing and reinstating the rules and procedures for the government of the Board of Supervisors, preservation of order and transaction of business related to Senate Bill 707. So we do have a PowerPoint here for you. And Senate Bill 7707, the purpose of this bill is to modernize public meeting access under the Brown Act shifts from courtesy access to mandated access. So what this means is that moving backward, we have offered Zoom as a courtesy, but now it is mandated by the state that we have to provide this public meeting access, so our Zoom. And it also expands opportunities for remote public participation, which we'll get into a little further. It also ensures equitable access for community members regardless of location or technology, and it establishes new participation requirements. So why does Senate Bill 707 matter to Yuba County? It matters because we are an eligible legislative body under SB 707. Our current meeting practices do meet the participation requirements because we do offer Zoom, but it is now a more extensive requirement, which we'll go into. SB 707 is mandatory and it is an unfunded state mandate. So county must adopt policies, procedures, and technology to comply by July 1st, 2026. So what is an eligible legislative body? Under Senate Bill 707, it applies to county boards of supervisors in counties with populations of 30,000 or more. As you know, our population is 80,000 plus. So definitely it applies to us. City councils also with the same population and also meeting different meeting population thresholds are also have to comply. There is also certain special district boards with internet website that also meet these certain conditions, but conditions that we have to overlook. So the requirement is for public, it must be able to attend meetings via a two-way telephonic or a two-way audiovisual communication. And it is effective on July 1st, 2026, and it sunsets in January of 2030. So some of the requirements, we'll go over some of them. One is that each eligible board must maintain a dedicated public meeting webpage, which you all are aware. That's where you see your agendas and where you grab the information that is on the agendas. The page must explain how meetings work and how to give oral and written public comment. You'll notice on our agendas, that's what's also listed there. For further information on how to get public participation, it's always listed on the bottom of the agenda. And it's got to be written public comment, of course, and it's got to be for in-person and remotely. It also has to include a calendar of the public meetings, which we also have that online on our website, where it states the dates, the times, and the locations. There's also links to the meeting agendas that are also provided. And then also the agency's homepage must clearly link to the public meetings page and the electronic request system, which we also have in place. So the tools that are needed for the remote participation is a two-way audiovisual telephonic platforms. We do have our two-way audiovisual platform is, of course, our Zoom webinar. The two-way telephonic system is our Zoom integrated phone call-in option, which we have available. And then we also have our one-way live audio visual platform, which is done through Champer or Channel, which what it does is it just streams only. So one new law that came about is that technology disruptions. It mentions that if service is interrupted during a meeting, open session must recess for at least an hour. Good faith efforts must be made to restore service. Meanwhile, that is being done. It has the capability of offering closed session to occur during the recess. So if we're off for an hour, you're able to go into closed session and continue the meeting in there. After that hour, if the service is still not restored, then the board has to make a finding by a roll call vote that good efforts were made to restore service and that in accordance with a policy adopted, that the public interest in continuing the meeting outweighs a public interest in remote public access. Now, if this motion fails by the board, then the meeting will have to adjourn. So participation changes. Some of the changes that we have is that it extends and expands remote meeting options for Brown Act bodies. What does it mean? Again, it starts January 1st, 2026, sunsets in January 1st, 2030. It also adds the new just cause reasons. I know there's numerous ones that are out there. Well, now it's caring for an immunocompromised family member. And it also is for military service obligations if it's more than 50 miles outside of the boundary of local agency. And then it also requires that the meeting minutes has to disclose the just cause that was invoked. It also expands that before, emergency remote meeting was only an option for state declared emergencies. Well, now it's also available for local declared emergencies, okay? So updates that we've done to our resolution, to our repealed resolution 2025-08 is that we do have listed the hybrid meeting requirement, so it's listed there. The telephonic and internet service disruption clause, we have that also listed. The amendment to the definition of disruptions, they've added some of more reasons why a meeting can go ahead and stop. Outreach obligations, all of our outreach obligations are on our website and they've all been met. Emergency meeting rules, that now gives the board members an option. Before it was 2 meetings per year, now it's 5 meetings per year, being that we do have 2 monthly meetings. So remote participation. And then also another big one was a closed captioning availability, which is a big one. We do have that now available via Zoom, and then also our live audio stream in browser. And we have the ways to do this is going to be listed on our agenda. So once we get on our agenda, once you see the agenda July 14th at our next meeting, you'll see that there is some changes on there. Any questions?
There was a $7,000 expense, I think, associated with this. I was curious, since we were already doing all of this, what was the expense for?
$7,000 expense regarding when was?
Was there an expense? Is there a budget change with this?
What it was is that now, because Zoom was, Curtis, we're going to definitely have to go ahead and provide Zoom. So we're going to go ahead and go on to a business Zoom. So that includes that.
Okay, so we're changing the Zoom platform slightly and there's a fee for it.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Through the
That is
chair.
it.
Well, while I support having as much access as we can get and then transparency to the public, I think when you throw it out there that these are unfunded state mandates, those are actually prevented by the California Constitution. So I don't know if we have to comply with an unfunded state mandate, or if we could risk the lawsuit on that. But
Since we're already complying.
well, we're not. Well, the other thing that's changing is we're going from you can miss five meetings and remote in now as a supervisor. And for me, I really think it's important that we're here as much as possible. And I know there's times where I've joined and not been able to vote. And we have a process for if there's something that's really important to your district, you can remote in and say your piece, but you don't get the vote, that kind of thing. But I just don't know why we need to add additional layers to something that's already we're offering for free. So it also adds a cost, the $7,000 to upgrade to the adds a lot of cost, that $7,000 to the to go to business Zoom when we already get all of these functions with what we currently have. So I don't really know why we would want to incur another amount of money for something we're already doing for free.
So I find this slightly entertaining, but let's just play it out hypothetically. What would happen if we said no?
Then we would be going against state mandate.
Okay.
And this is not something just for us, this is definitely 58 counties throughout California have to go through it. And there was a lot of counties that were not offering Zoom. They did not have this platform.
Right.
And so, of course, we offered it as a courtesy only. And of course, we had as little expense.
Right.
But when you look at the expense, it's not.
And so when you go against the state mandate, on the basis of it's unconstitutional for them to have unfunded mandates, they would then stop giving us grants at some point, and then we would what?
That is something that I do not know, because as you know, our funding is general funding. So we do nothing with grants.
If we wanted to pick a fight over this county council, what would the consequences be?
Well, I cannot say for sure what the consequences would be, but I would suggest going with the SB 707 state mandate.
Thank you, County Council.
So I have a question through the chair. Mary, will we be able to remote in and vote now up to 5 times?
As you recall, the law before said that you could remote in, but there was just cause reasons why you were remoting in, and you had to follow those rules. The 2 that they've added now is just an extension. I mean, some of the rules they had before was a child care caregiving need of a child parent, grandparent, a contagious illness that prevented a member from attending in person, a need related to a physical mental disability not otherwise accommodated for, travel while on official business. So if you're traveling on official business, you're able to go ahead and attend the meeting. It all depends on where you're going. When you go to your conferences, you are able to Zoom in, you are able to go ahead and vote. The only issue is that you've got to go ahead and you have to be on audio visual, meaning we have to see you, we have to be able to hear you. Apart from that, you have to announce anyone that's over 18 years of age that's in the room with you.
Through the chair, and just to remind the board, even without a just cause, if you note the location that you're participating remotely and it's open to the public, note on the agenda ahead of time the location, you can also participate remotely without just cause, but you have to open up your condo in Mexico to anyone that wishes to attend the meeting with you while you're there on vacation. And then I get the frustration about state mandates. We get them all the time, unfunded state mandates. We talk about this at RCRC, and there is a process that counties can go through to seek reimbursement for unfunded state mandates. It's difficult, but RCRC is trying to support counties in that process, and hopefully in the long run, the more counties that submit claims, the more the state legislature will think about unfunded mandates that they're passing and how to fund those in the future. And so I would certainly encourage, I know we're already working with RCRC on submitting claims in cases where we can do that. One of the challenges is the process is essentially a local jurisdiction has to basically, it's not quite a court case, but you basically have to go before the Commission on State Mandates and prove that it's an unfunded mandate. Once it's agreed that it's actually an unfunded mandate, then any other jurisdiction can support claims under that unfunded mandate. But it's you kind of have to have this test case, and you can't even do that until you actually have expended the funds to comply with the unfunded mandate. So anyway.
And through the chair, I would also like to clarify that on that 7,000 that is listed, that's something that we already have been paying. We've been paying that for our live audio stream. That is the expense plus our Zoom.
So there's not an increased cost.
It's not an increase.
It's something that we're already doing.
It's something that we have already been doing for the past year now, 2 years now.
Okay, so we made the choice 2 years prior to use the business Zoom.
Correct.
We've been paying for it. There is not an increased cost because of this issue. All right.
No.
As much as I am excited about fighting state and unfunded mandates, this is not the particular hill that I would choose. There's so many other places that I would love to fight them about. But I will entertain a motion if there are any that we would like to proceed.
So moved.
I'll second.
Do we need to do a roll call vote? No?
No.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All right. Motion carries. We will move on to ordinances. We have a hearing. Would you like to read that, Mary?
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group. Our agenda items 273-2026, Community Development and Services, public hearing, hold public hearing, and adopt resolution approving an extension of Hamilton Road in the Goldfields to remain gated pursuant to California Vehicle Code, Section 21101.4.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. Brian Michelson, Public Works Director, here this morning to, ask for the extension of the closure of this road. The closure was put in place several years ago due to vandalism, illegal dumping, and many other more serious crimes, as noted by our Sheriff's Department and Fish and Game previously. This extension will be for 18 months and will not elapse. We track this, and so every 18 months, we bring this resolution forward to be enacted so there's not a lapse in that enforcement of it and that closure. At this point, I ask for any questions there may be, and also ask for the public hearing and the adoption of this resolution.
I will open the public hearing. Is there any public comment?
Through the chair, we did have a written public comment. I don't know if you guys had a
The
chance.
letter from Dale?
A letter from Dale. I've talked to Dale on the phone and explained to him that we are making a lot of progress in this to get it opened back up. But at this point, it's critical that we keep it closed, not only for this, but we're going to have heavy construction equipment on that road for the Nature Lake Fishway. So it wouldn't be conducive to have the public on that road as well.
And we don't have an ad hoc on this issue, do we?
No.
Okay. Would you like to have an ad hoc on this issue that can meet with Dale? That was one of his requests in his letter.
I talked to Dale. That's probably why he's not here. I'll talk with him on the phone.
All
And
right.
They understand. So they understand that we are working to get it reopened and make the park, and Congressman Thompson is making an act of Congress to get those properties to Yuba County so we can open it back up in a county park and patrolled manner and much safer. But until then, we have to keep it, we don't have to, but I think it's critical that we keep it closed for now.
Okay. If there's no other public comment, I will close the public comment. Motion?
I will make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll be opposed. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will move to correspondence, Mary.
The board may direct any item of informational correspondence to department head for appropriate action. It's agenda item 314-2026, received notice from California Fish and Game Commission regarding notice of proposed changes in regulation.
All right. Individual board member reports. First one is we are going to be giving some money to, I'm going to have to read again, Share Mong. They have taken on the burden of doing the Seniors on the Go meals in Olivehurst. And so it's a great program. We want to, as we saw from our presentation earlier, help seniors socialize and be fed whenever possible. In fact, I believe they're doing chicken tomorrow at the BFW. So if you know anybody who would like to get out, please let people know that that is happening. And so we would like to entertain a motion to delegate my district priority funds to that organization. I so move.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second one is Say Love. I think we're all familiar. We had a presentation by them a few meetings ago. They do great work. Again, they have 3 meeting points. One is Yuba City, one is Marysville, and one is, again, Olivehurst. So we are getting some special love from Say Love there, keeping our community clean. And I would like to allocate $4,000 of the district priority funds to them. I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then Mr. Messick.
So mine is a request to give my entire $10,000 for this year to Office of Emergency Services for a LED signboard. It's going to be partially funded by the Rotary Club. I don't know if it's of Marysville or International, approved funding for the foundation of this sign. And OES has some other money. So we're going to get this electronic signboard put up in Brownsville in front of the fire department. And OES will be able to remote in and put emergency information on that board. The rest of the time, when there's non-emergency, the community will be able to put community announcements and things on the signboard. This is the first one in my district, and we have identified so far 3 other locations we'd like to get this done. So this is going to be our first one in our model. And then eventually we want to do one in front of the Alcoof and Oregon House, the Lions Club in Loma Rica, and possibly the Posse Arena on Marysville Road. So in my district, as you guys are all aware, we have high risk of fire, and I think it would be great that we can get information on signboards on the roadways as quickly as possible to the community.
Thank you. And I think I forgot to do public comment on both of mine and Mr. Messick. So if there's any public comment on any of these 3 issues, feel free. No? Good. Now I'm not in trouble anymore. I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. We will go ahead and go to board and staff member reports. Mr. Vasquez?
we had a presentation by Area 4, and Area 4 has taken some very important steps to be audited. They're missing the 3 audits, and so we fired the CEO. We have an acting CEO in there, and we're making progress on the audits. And California's happy, and so are we. But it's been a wild board for many, many years because we were functional to a certain extent, but we weren't going according to law. And we've since taken steps to measure that out. And it's something that had to happen. So that's it.
All right. For me, last week was kind of a busy one. I went to the ribbon cutting for Got Cakes and Cafe in Marysville. They're pretty awesome little family-owned restaurant on 3rd Street. I got a tour of the Yuba County Library's progress and helped make some decisions for upcoming agenda items, things like that, to know what's going on at the Yuba County Library. We were able to push back the closure of the Yuba County Library for another month so that people can have access to that resource while Sutter County is repairing some air conditioning issues at theirs, and our new library or renovation's not quite complete. So it's nice to see that we're not going to be completely out of the library business in Yuba and Sutter counties. Met with Yuba-Sutter Transit, who already went to work and created a youth ride free program. So all the youth in Yuba County can get free passes to ride the Yuba-Sutter Transit bus and get to all the places that are doing things for our youth throughout the community. Been working with a couple of different agencies to make sure we're posting on social media and throughout any type of mailers that they have, the free opportunities for our youth in the community, because there is a lot that we do for these guys, and a lot of parents say there's nothing for their kids to do, and I think it's just because they don't know. Let's see here. I also went to the ribbon cutting for the new sports bar at Hard Rock Casino. It's a pretty big sports bar. They were in the middle of a World Cup game, so it was insanely busy. Got out of there to go back to the Yuba-Sutter Fair, where we're setting up for all of the Yuba and Sutter County 4-H kids to show their animals and sell them at the auction this Saturday. I got to be the range master for the 4-H annual archery competition at the Yuba-Sutter Fair. We had 55 kids come out and compete for medals and awards and things like that. Normally they have 10 to 20 kids. Last year we had 30, and now we're at 55. So it's growing. Let's see here. Sunday, I helped out with the Marysville Little League field prep for their All-Star tournament. They're going to be hosting June 25th through July 11th. They're hosting the 8 to 10-year-old boys baseball tournament. So if you have a chance to come out and support that Little League, they don't get anything extra for hosting. So come buy some food and watch these high-caliber 8-year-old boys put it to each other. And then yesterday I got to go out to Beale Air Force Base and meet with Colonel Cameron, the new commander of Beale Air Force Base. I got a tour of the the intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance group, which they employ the largest number of people at the base, whether they're private sector or public sector. They really want to connect to our community like they have been, but they're facing some huge challenges with not being able to keep up with the cost of rent for the airmen. There's 500 houses on base, and there's 4,800 employees. So anything we can do to kind of help those people become Yuba County residents, I think we should be pushing for that. I got a tour of the Space Force facility, which is our missile defense. It's a big piece of defense equipment on the side of the mountain range there that is something that's critical to our nation's safety. So just excited to be able to support all those people out there. I went out there with GSEC, though, which is the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, and they also they're working together with the YARC, the group we stood up from Yuba-Water that does research. They're trying to fight off of drones and unmanned aircraft and they're doing a lot there, and it's going to be a nationwide project. Right now, the research center is doing the research, and GSEC and a defense contractor is trying to figure out how to implement that kind of defense with all these small drones flying around. So just a lot of opportunity out there, and they're excited that to be part of a region where we're going to have a baseball team. Hopefully, we're going to build a 350-acre development that supports food and recreation. And then ultimately, I got to talk to a bunch of airmen, and I said, do you live in Yuba County? And all the ones that said they do, they love it, right? They live in Edgewater and Plumas Lake, and they love it. And then the ones that didn't, I asked them why they didn't live in Yuba County, and they said, there's not enough restaurant opportunity or options. So the small things, right? We talk about all the big things, but small things. And I think we're making good progress, but thank you guys.
So in continuing the theme about Beal, I'm glad that Supervisor House was able to go out there and spend some time. I also spent a pretty significant amount of time at Beal the last week and a half. It's a change of command season out there. They rotate through their commanders typically every 2 years. And so over half the commanders on base this time of year are transitioning into new roles, often at a different base somewhere else. And so I attended the 1st Reconnaissance Squadron change of command, which is where I serve as the honorary commander. The 9th Civil Engineering Squadron, and I served as the honorary commander there previously, and then the 9th Reconnaissance Wing change of command, which is the base commander, and so we welcomed Colonel Cameron, who fortunately was already at Beal, and so he's familiar with the area and familiar with the base, which is great to have an internal candidate move up into that role. So someone that both the water agency and the county, I think, are very familiar with and have partnered with. In addition, I also attended the sports bar ribbon cutting, and Supervisor Fuhrer was there too, not to steal his thunder, but it was great to see you guys down in the 4th District and at that event. Yesterday evening, CBS 13 aired a story about the Feather River State Park, and so I'd encourage you to check that out. The story was very well done. It was mostly an interview out at Star Bend with someone from State Parks who's a park ranger, and so he's very excited about the recreational opportunities. They're going to be coming, the enhanced recreational opportunities that are going to be coming to Yuba County. SACOG is doing a peer region tour the next 3 days in Minneapolis, so we'll be learning about the Twin Cities and some of the things they're doing with respect to transit and transportation and housing. And then before our next meeting, of course, will be the 4th of July, and I know we have some amazing regional events going on the 3rd. I think it's from 5 to 10 at Riverfront Park, and that'll end in some fireworks that night. And then on the 4th at the Yuba-Sutter Fairgrounds, there's going to be an amazing drone show. In the 4th District, there are 2 4th of July events that typically happen on the morning of the 4th. One is at 9 a.m., the Plumas Lake Bike Parade. So kids and adults are welcome to decorate bikes and wagons and wheelchairs and or even just themselves and walk. It's just a short little parade of a few blocks. It starts at the north side of Ufaywood Park. And then from 10 to 3 that day is the annual 4th of July barbecue in Wheatland. And as has been happening the last couple of years, the American Legion will be hosting bingo there as well. So it's a good time to go play some bingo and get a hamburger and hot dog and just enjoy being with the community. So that's all I've got.
Through the chair, Gary, did you ride in the 238?
I have not gotten to ride in the T-38. I did sit in it.
The picture looked like possibly Gary got to ride it.
No, I was hopeful that I would get a ride earlier this spring in the T-38. I did not, and so that's still on my list.
I will take you for riding my Cub. It's almost as fast as it is.
Probably won't throw up. I hear if I ride in the T-38, I'll throw up. So your Cub might be a safer bet, but maybe.
Through the chair, just to add to the Supervisor Bradford's comments there, the schedule for the 4th of July 250th anniversary is pretty huge. So on July 3rd at Beckworth Riverfront Park, we have food trucks, live entertainment, and then the longest birthday cake in Yuba-Sutter history. And then culminates with a fireworks show at 9:45 p.m. And then on Saturday, let's see here. So on July 4th from 5 to 10 p.m., we have a car show. food trucks, children's area, live entertainment, salute to veterans, and a drone show, and that's going to all be at the Yuba-Sutter Fairgrounds. So I would encourage you guys to share that Heart of America 250th anniversary celebration flyer as it comes around your emails. But just hopefully we can make sure everybody knows what's going on in for our 250th celebration.
I guess I'm up. So this week is Fair Week at the Yuba-Sutter Fair. I hope everyone can make it. My first year in 30 years not camping there. So Rennick, I'm glad to see he's taken over and doing that. I will be there nearly every day at some point. And I'd like to thank Supervisor Fear for coming and judging the brisket cook-off for Browns Valley Alley, which I plan on winning again this year. Speaking of fairs, we have the Mountain Fair coming up in Brownsville in August. I'll have more information out about that as it gets closer. And that's about it. I'll pass.
Legal counsel?
Nothing to report from County Counsel's office.
Thank you, board members, for plugging the fireworks displays. The jurisdictions this year really stepped up for our celebration this year, so it's going to be a fantastic event. And Mr. Mount will be back with you in July. So thank you.
Mary?
Nothing, thank you.
All right, we will then recess the meeting to closed session. Thank you, everyone. And we will do an 8-minute break.
Recording stopped.
You got it already.
Watch, you can support or sponsor, help keep the community aware with Yuba-Sutter.LIVE.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. It's the truth that comes through.